Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And in previous video we discussed about Kafka producer, which is going to post data to the Kafka topic. Before that we discussed about Kafka topic and partition within a topic. Now here we are going to discuss about consumer group and offset. So consumer work on pull basis. That means broker is not going to send data to the consumer. Instead of that, consumer need to pull the data. So it will work on the pull basis. Now if you see this example here, I have a topic and this topic has 4 different partition. Partition 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now here consumer 1 is consuming data from partition 1 and 2. So it will always read from these two particular partition. Consumer 2 is going to read from partition 3 and consumer 3 is going to read from partition 4. So like that. So if we have a topic, here we need a consumer which can process this data. Producer is going to post the data, consumer is going to consume this data. While discussing on producer, we discuss about serialize, where string data getting converted into byte. Now the data in Kafka will be in byte, but when we are consuming it, that time again from byte to their corresponding data type, it will get converted. Example, from byte to string or byte to integer. Now let's see like why do we need consumer group. So this is interesting actually. So here let's say all these consumer 1, 2, 3, these are within same consumer group. So within one group you can say like if you take one example, say like these are a team. So there is some work which we are getting from partition 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that work, one of these consumer, because they are from the same team, one of them is going to process it. So maybe like whatever task we'll get from partition 1 and 2, that consumer 1 will process it. Any task we receive in partition 3, that consumer 2 will process. Any task we get in partition 4, that consumer 3 will process. But all together, they all are consuming data from this particular topic. Now let's say like we have multiple services. Let's say you got hired for a company. Now there will be 3 parallel process we have to initiate. Maybe like your background verification, your onboarding process, and maybe HR team need to know about it so that they can help you with any policy or any other help what you need. So basically your onboarding, that message should be delivered to these 3 different systems: background verification team, onboarding team and HR team. So here we need multiple consumer groups with the same notification. Let's say John is getting onboarded. So that consumer group 1 also should know, consumer group 2 also should know, 3 also should know about this information. So here if you see in this particular diagram, so here consumer 1, there are 3 consumer within this particular group. So one of them will process your data. Now there are second consumer group, same data they will also receive and one of them will process it. So when we have multiple services, then we have to create multiple consumer groups so that they can process. One of the interesting information on this is consumer offset. Because when we are processing the data, let's say there are 2 different groups are there. Maybe first group process the data 1, 2, maybe group 1 has processed, but for group 2 it has processed only first one. So they need to know that how much you have processed. So consumer offset is the one which is going to tell you like if there are 10 messages and you will say like okay 4 I have processed and you will commit it. You are periodically going to commit it and say like okay 4 messages I have committed. Then let's say due to some reason if consumer is not available, something happened there, then again when we will start this consumer again, that time it should not start reading from beginning. Instead of that it should start from 5 because 4 message it has already processed. So it should start from 5th one. So that's the work of the consumer offset. Now here in case you are designing a system where you may need to reprocess the data, then you have to ensure like the process is idempotent, means reprocessing the data is not going to impact your target system. So that you have to ensure here.